morning, everyone. I warned someone this morning, Nolene, I like to look out for smiling faces, especially as my topic is finance. So a small but important part of running a successful organisation, because of course to do all these wonderful things that Molly and Claire have spoken about, we need money. My job, unfortunately, it'd be good if I could make it, but I report on it. We all need to work together, as Claire said, to really focus on the income generation part of the finances for the INF. The board works hard at that, and also making sure that the money that is spent is directed in those areas of high strategic importance. So we do value the feedback that we get from these congresses and the breakout workshops. One of the examples of that would be the effort that has gone into the review of umpiring internationally and development of international umpires. So the board did agree to spend considerable resources in that area, firstly in the review, and then secondly about thinking about how we would be able to deliver the activities and objectives that people really, really wanted to see improve. So we're on that journey, and Christina will talk about that later at Congress. Right, now onto the numbers piece. I have got a few slides, not too many. I'm starting with the big picture, which, as Claire has explained, the organisation does run on a 4-year cycle, both from its important events. So Netball World Cup is the fun part of participating in this organisation. It also generates the lion's share of the income. Without World Cup, the efforts that go on at the international level would be severely less than what they are now. On average, I'll just talk in round numbers, the International Federation needs around about $400,000 to, I'm going to do this all the time, pounds, right? So I live in a jurisdiction that spends dollars, £400,000. We earn from normal activities £200,000, so on an average year there's a deficit of £200,000. In Netball World Cup year, that event from broadcasting rights and profit share brings in approximately, in the last year or two, and budgeted for 2016, is when we'll know the results, but we're expecting a £600,000 income. So you can see the importance of the financial success of Netball World Cup. Also, you'll see why we have looked over, and Congress in 2013 did agree to increase subscriptions for members so that their actual core running of the organisation is not dependent on this one event every 4 years. Right, the various sources of income. Subscriptions is an important source of income on the ongoing annual operational, from an ongoing operational perspective. We have put in place a plan to increase those fees over a 4-year period that was presented at the 2013 Congress and approved. I've got it as part of this presentation just as a reminder about how important that is to the organisation from an ongoing sustainability perspective. Event income, depending on the year, can be higher or lower. So you can see in 2014 we did get income from Netball World Series, so Fast 5, but in some years that event wasn't successful in contributing income. It has improved to a point where it is successful, so we are hoping that the expressions of interest will continue and we will end up with an annual Fast 5 event. Sponsorship is important but challenging and hard work. Claire has spoken about that. it's an area of decline. Another reason why we are looking at making sure that all our governance practices are in place and that we have sustainable income coming from subscriptions. The UK grant, we have been very fortunate from the Sports Council to have had funding for approximately 4 years of £50,000, which fully paid for the regional officer in Africa. That has decreased by half, so is at approximately £25,000 now. So the INF is funding the other half of that role from its own resources. IOC grants continue on at a similar level, and we're really grateful for that at around about £20,000, and the other income comes from various sources at a relatively low level. Our expenditure primarily is staffing. There has been a reshuffle from contractors into full-time staff. Claire explained that in her presentation, and that has been a big step forward. Administration includes the expenses of running the meetings, the panels that provide all their time voluntarily, do require that we get them together to meet. So that is a big chunk of that admin costs. The other part of that is just running the office, so normal rent and related expenditure. Small amounts spent on marketing, and you are seeing the benefits of that through the improved communications. The website has also improved significantly, and Claire pointed out the importance of that from a strategic perspective. The expenses from INF, the events largely look after themselves, so there is a small amount of money that is spent peripherally around events, but the final part of our expenses relates to development. That is part of the INF net effect grants that come out to the regions, the development officer in Africa, and in the last 2 years been the umpire review and workshops that have run in 2013 and 2014. That just gives you the information in a pictorial perspective, just so that you can see the total and how it gets allocated. We are looking to get to a position where the subscriptions for members more or less covers the staffing and running of the office, and the other income can be used in the development area. So as we increase income and other sources, the effort will go into development of the game. As Claire explained, the goal of having a development officer in each region is high on the agenda. The financial statements, annually we have a compliance requirement to prepare these and have them audited. I can report that this process is very efficient and effective, thanks to Angela in the office doing the work, and the work of the Audit and Finance Committee working collaboratively with the auditors. For a small organisation, we do exceptionally well and have these all finalised and approved by February of each year. And then they go to the March board meeting for approval. So these financial statements have been circulated to all members, and we're just noting the approved financial statements for the record here at Congress. In a similar light, our regulations and articles also require that we note that the auditors have been appointed. Beaver and Struthers has worked with INF for a number of years now. The relationship is strong. We have reviewed whether or not we should consider changing auditors in the light of a fresh perspective and making sure that we're not resting on our laurels. However, on balance, the benefit that the organisation gets from having a continuous relationship with their auditors, working with a team that know us well, does mean we get through the process in a really efficient and effective manner. So the board agreed to appoint Beaver and Stravitz for a further year back in our March meeting. My final slide is to just remind people about the INF membership fees and the importance of these in the financial strength of our organisation. They do contribute to approximately 20% of the total expenditure. They support primarily the cost of running the Secretariat. The next bullet point there is that the net effect grant is a really valuable contribution back into the regions for your choice on how the area of development you would want to invest in. And the final point on where we spend the money is just to note that the meeting expenses for the board, for the panels, and other development costs is covered by other funding. The Congress in 2013 approved fee increases of 5% out over the next 3 years. We, at that time, did appreciate that is a high increase year on year and is certainly not connected with inflation. It is connected with a strategic decision to enable INF as an international body to actually stand on its own 2 feet and have a sustainable future. The value we get from Congress is getting input from you as members as to where the priorities are for ensuring that we are working on development and taking the game forward so that we've got a really bright future. I think we all agree. We can see progress. We've just got a golden star that we're reaching out for, which is still work in progress at this point in time.